Now, let's get into our next discussion, which is also one thing that affects us one way or the other. Recently, northern governors in Nigeria held an emergency meeting with traditional rulers in Kaduna State over issues of insecurity, politics, and the value-added tax collection controversy, among others. They opposed the value-added tax law enacted by the governors of Rivers State and Lagos State, which got the support of other southern state governors. The northern governors also insist that agitations for a mandatory power shift to the south is unconstitutional. Correspondent Lupe Asom has this report, and then after that we get into the discussion.
Another conversation on the state of the nation. And here, northern governors and traditional leaders are gathered at the Kashim Ibrahim House in Kaduna for an emergency meeting. At the last one in February, they resolved to collectively fight insecurity and enhance socio-economic prosperity of the region. They are here to receive updates on the implementation of those resolutions. They will also deliberate on emerging national issues such as value-added tax collection. This has sparked wide reactions and controversy over the past weeks. A court of appeal in Abuja had ordered Rivers and Lagos state government to stay action on their VAT laws. This is pending an end to legal dispute on the matter. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice has also disputed the rights of state governments to claim VAT collection. And after 5 hours of closed-door deliberation, the northern governors come up with a similar resolve. They say there will be an increase in prices of commodity and a collapse in interstate trade if every state is allowed to enact its VAT laws. They promise to wait for the final judgment of the Supreme Court as the case is sub judice.
The judgment of the Federal High Court calls to question the constitutionality of VAT. The reason Lagos accounts for 50% VAT collection is because most of the telecommunication companies, banks, manufacturing and other training activities have their headquarters in Lagos, with the resultant and the wrongful attribution of VAT. Until and unless the Supreme Court pronounces judgment on the substantive matter between Rivers State and the federal government, the matter is sub judice, and Northern State Governors Forum would respect this.
The forum condemns agitations by southern governors who insist there must be power shift to the south in the next election. They say there are no such laws in the Constitution.
The forum observed that some northern state governors had earlier expressed views for a power shift to any three geopolitical zones in the south with a view to promoting unity and peace in the nation. Notwithstanding their comments, the forum unanimously condemned the statement by the Southern Governors Forum that the presidency must go to the south. The statement is quite contradictory with the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, that the elected president shall A. score the majority votes, B. score at least 25% of the votes cast in 2/3 states of the Federation, C. in the case of run-up, simple majority will win the election.
The forum also called for the establishment of National Livestock Transformation Program as a substitute for open grazing.
Other issues raised include the spate of drug consumption among the youth and the release of criminals by judicial officials. The Northern Governors Forum expressed readiness to work in synergy with the federal government to find lasting solutions to security challenges. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
All right, joining me in the studio to discuss this and make sense of it is leadership coach and consultant Ibrahim Great. Ibrahim, good morning.
Good morning
good to
to
see
you, sir. It's
Great.
a nice one. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Nice one.
And good to have you home in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Now, let's start it this way. In fact, I believe since independence, there has always been the issue of the balance between one section or region of the country and another when it comes to politics as a way of giving a balance and sense of belonging to all of that. It took different dimensions, but right now we often talk about the issue of rotational presidency where everyone has a sense of belonging. But all that has still not given the Nigerian that fulfillment that they have always yearned for. The recent meeting of the Northern Governors Forum, they said a lot of things, but one of the issues that has been generating a lot of discussions and debate has to do with power shifting to the south. Actually, they say it's unconstitutional. It's not in the Constitution, though, but why is this a big deal?
I like the fact that you started from the fact that from foundation, almost nearly, it's actually before independence. I would think that the Nigerian institution is wrongly founded. And, you know, from my favorite book, he said, when the foundation is wrong, you know, it's not that the foundation itself is bad. It's just that some element of it has a problem. So
I'm going to need you to break it down. When you refer to the founding, something being wrong with the foundation.
So for example, we live right now in Nigeria with 1999 Constitution. But when you speak and when you look at the structure of Nigeria, it was structured before even independence. And you really realize a few things happened in Nigeria, one of which is 1959. Something happened in Nigeria in 1959 where the people that helped us to structure the nation that we now have, you know, I would say, in their own mind, maybe out of goodwill or maybe out of clandestine moves, structured and seeded the nation in a certain way, maybe based on landscape or the landmass or what have you. But for whatever reason, that structure has a problem. There is a form of ambiguity around that. So when we got to a point where in 1999 we have the republic that we now have and the democracy that we now have, that constitution that was formed in itself is already faulted because the structure from the beginning is wrong. So in some part of the country, you have a sense that this, you know, big country, we have a huge share in it because the constitution says so. You have another part of the country that is saying, oh, something is wrong here. The structure needs to be revisited. Something is wrong. So when you look at the issue that the northern governors are looking at, I like one thing about they're very organized in the way that they have presented their case. So in that meeting, they look at VAT, they look at open grazing, and they look at the issue of zoning. I'll only touch on two of them because of our time. I look at the last one, which is the issue of zoning. I like to put it this way when I talk about Nigeria. I say American politics is a game of poker. You got to be able to understand how poker works for you to understand American politics. The UK politics where I live is a game of football where you have 4-2-2, 4-3-3 is the formation. We don't vote for the prime minister. We vote in the local places and then we select. So if you put your formation,
amongst them.
You from amongst them, something happens. But in the Nigerian context, the Nigerian politics is a game of chess. So when you have somebody saying to you, we're not zoning, we're not do that, there is too much of political cacophony in Nigeria. Those things does not determine what will happen in 2023. They're just news for the media at the moment. The real permutation of Nigerian politics is happening in silence. And the funny thing is that the permuters or the permutators or the people that are actually permutating the Nigerian, they are actually the one creating the cacophony. To distract.
Is there a way of distracting? I was going to say that. Is there a way of distracting Nigerians? Keep them busy. Let them talk while we do the back end work and all of that.
Yes, because they don't want to be defocused. Also, so they're not doing it for a wrong reason. And I want you to know that some of the people that are at the back end of striving to lead this country, there are people that are astute in the Nigerian politics, the people that have been there for a long time. So, but when you look at the issue of the zoning, they're not all right. If you and I don't remember where you come from, but I believe you'll be from the south. Or if you're
I'm just a Nigerian.
Yeah, just we're all Nigerians. But if you are from a region, or if you are from your family, and the other families have a meeting in how we manage an estate that we both live, I'm sure you're not just going to come out and say you agree totally with it. Your wife will come back and say, what have you going to do? You've got to, they have to represent their people. They have spoken very well. What they are saying, and when you read their report, they're not just categorically saying, like some of them will stand in the media and say, we have to rule, we have to. No. What they're saying is that let's see this thing to the federal government. We're not just going to say we give it to the South. The election will determine the outcome of this thing. But let me tell you something about how we should look at this thing. there is the general notion that the North are in unity, that they unite. I will say this to you, that the North they are not in unity, but they are unanimous. And the difference is this: if the North said this is the direction we are going, they may not like the person that said it, they may not agree with the person that, but they were going to do that. The unanimity among the North,
it creates a better cohesion than areas where people are free to, chart their own courses, especially in the South, where the politics of Southwest is a little different from the politics and the agenda and the dream of Southeast, and then the South as well.
So when you look at the South, I look at it as it maybe Southeast or Southwest. I look at it as a whole sum.
Okay.
And when I talk about the unanimity of the North, you see that is lacking in the South. The South, I don't know, for whatever reason, we seem never to be able to have come together to unanimously say this is the direction we're going. And one of the reasons is that we are so educated, and there are so much education in the North as well, but we are so elitist that we can't take nonsense. If you find something in me and you think I shouldn't be contesting, you will come out with all full force. You will bring all your arsenal against me. But in the North, it's not that way. If they realize, even if you have half life, and you are the one that you're going for us, you see they will rally around it. But for us, we will probe everything, rightfully so.
All right, so at what point? Because the point is, all of these are beautiful variety of who we are as a people generally. We can't all be the same. You were talking about America and the UK and all of that earlier on. The point is, we are Nigerians now, and we are here to stay. And the point is, a Yoruba man will never automatically be an Idoma man. The point is, you are you, I am me, he is he, she is he, and she is there, and all of that. But the point is, we are all Nigerians. You handle that area, I handle this area. I reflect beauty, you reflect beauty, and so on. So at what point are we going to use that leadership by submission that creates cohesion in the North, and then leadership by freedom, where you are free, I'm free, everybody's independent in the South? At what point are we going to bring it together to melt to that melting point where Nigeria is the one who benefits from the difference and the variety that we all are?
I think it all boils down to leadership. You see, there are different...
Leadership at what point? Leadership at the center, or leadership, at the various state levels?
Leadership at state level and at the federal level.
Okay.
You see, we can have a national leader who is able to coordinate and, bring about unity, or bring about peace, or bring about in the nation. One of the things I played some role in the administration, the APC government coming to power. And one of the things that gave me so much joy at the beginning was that on the day of the inauguration, I actually rode with the vice president. And when the president was giving a speech, it got to a point that some of us that were in that place in Abuja, we were so happy. I had to move closer. I was so happy. We were talking about things like body language. We thought, yes, this is what Nigeria needs. The love was going to share around. But I'll be honest with you, I've since been so disappointed.
So you don't feel the same way?
I don't feel the same way, because if we have a leader who is able to be charismatic enough, who is able to be transformational enough, people will begin to forget about their personal idiosyncrasies and their personal agendas. You will begin to look up. We have a father. At some point, we had a leader in this country, actually, and it's not well appreciated, but I love the person of Olusegun Obasanjo. The way he will go to the east, to the north. Sometimes he will get into a place and he's dancing, he's calling comedians in, he's joking with everybody, even if you hate his agenda. The person that he is, when he's on the news, you just want to hear what... Sometimes he's giving a speech and he will stop to tell a story. You just listen to the story as though an elder. And the north, the south, the east, everybody enjoy his person. When we have a leader who can lead a nation in which a 6-year-old want to wake up and listen to the president, no matter what part of the country they are from. When we have a leader, when the people say, I like the color of his tie, you know, I love the way he dressed, I like the way he moves. Because people like to look up to someone. And no matter what their tribe, their language is, when they see a leader to look up, they want to be like that leader.
Yeah, but the point is, do you feel from where we stand right now, because you've been in the system and you understand how these things work, from where we are now looking at 2023, do you think that we can get that kind of a leader differently at 2023 for Nigerians?
I'm not confident, but the ray of opportunities there. And I was discussing with you know, my guys as we came here in the car, asking me a few questions. I can see that we have leaders in both the South and the North. By opportunity, I know a lot of people that have the capability. But some of them already, they have not even run. We're already destroying them. We're saying they're not good enough, they're not, and I understand some of our concern and fear. So I was saying to my guy, I said, I have a leader who have run businesses. I have leaders who have been in management of people, of organization. I would take them over so many people, even if they have half life. Because the number one job of a leader is to build a team. And I said, look, if you get Nigeria 50% right, you're on your way to making it great. And the 50% of a president job is to form the right people. We have leaders in this country who knows, and we have seen they know how to do that. They put the right kind of people, young people, brilliant people, great mind together. So even if they don't have the physical strength, they have the prowess. You cannot throw away experience that they have done. Another thing is that somebody saying today, some of them will be questioned, their wealth is questioned. I said, look, everywhere you go in the world, either it's the Bush family or it's that family, people took up an opportunity. They saw Texas the way it is. They took advantage and they made it great. But when you see somebody saw a picture, painted that picture and make a state great or make a place great, from nothing created cities, then you are telling me that kind of a person can come and turn the country into an industry. But the problem is that because you and I were struggling and the one man just becomes so much rich, we call those kind of people, but still they create a great place for us all to live.
Okay, we will look forward to how these things play out, because Nigerians, they on the other hand, in fact, someone was saying that sometimes the challenge is even Nigerians, because they tend to, you may want to have a leader, but the mindset of the average Nigerian when it comes to, okay, how much of our rights should we hand over to him? I know his pedigree, I know he has the capacity, but where is he from? You know, things like that. Always, throw spanners in the wheel, isn't it?
Thank God that you mentioned the issue of mindset, and I'll link
just
that
briefly before we go.
Yeah, I'll link that with the issue of open grazing and all that. We are affected a lot by mindset in this country, and the difference between developing nation, underdeveloped nation and developed nation is that they have had a change of mindset. So for example, in Nigeria, if we still believe that cows should be going on the street, it was good hundreds of years ago. It was good picture on our naira. It was good image on our country. But people are riding camel at that time. There was no cars at that time. Those things were good. But in the world right now, people are no longer on camels. But you still have kingdom in this country that even if they have Rolls Royce, they will still ride on camel because they believe it's tradition. You still have traditions in the world, and maybe in this country we'll worship animals because the mindset have not changed. So what we need is generally a country changing its mindset from individual. But I tell you, with the advent of internet, things will change because education is coming to every mind.
All right. That's really fine, Ibrahim. Great. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
I'm really grateful to be here.
Nice
Thank
to see you, really.
It is working. Thank you.
All right.